Agarth wanted me to keep an eye on Lady Shear, but you and I need to have a talk first. I've been reviewing my notes of our last trip to Alabastra, and I've come to some startling conclusions about your death and Tirnoch. I don't know exactly, but it must have been a tremendously powerful source of magic. So powerful that the Well of Souls couldn't help but pick up on it. You were attuned to the well in my lab, but Hugh's well captured your essence. The power in Bale seems to have been the missing element. What's more, I think that power is the source of the Prismere crystals. Something intelligent and malignant. The creature the Tuatha called Tirnoch. Something incredibly powerful. I don't know if we even have a name for what she is, because no one's lived to name it. She's not a god. She's something much, much worse. And judging by the growth of this Prismere, she's very close to coming into our world for good. Whatever Gadflow's been doing, it's all in order to bring her here. So you've got to stop him before it's too late. With tremendous difficulty. Even so, there weren't as many Tuatha here, and we used magic to keep us hidden. Magic which you provided, in fact. You never did explain where you got those fascinating little artifacts.
The jester of the King of Winter, the fool who made a mockery of life, of everything, languished in a discontent. He heard the whisperings of power, felt its pulse. He saw visions of an endless winter, of a totality of nothingness. He was Gadflow, and he would follow the cycle no longer.
There you are. Got myself a little tied up here. And is it a trick of the eye, or are these crystals growing? Just got myself tied up in some trouble with the locals. Nothing I can't handle. Honestly, I haven't had this much fun in decades. Not on your life. This old man can still take care of himself, you know. But I will take just a moment to catch my breath. Stupid old lungs. Keep going. I'll meet you at vengeance. Got myself a little tied up. And is it a trick of the eye? Keep going. I'll meet you at vengeance.
With horror's screams and ghostly face, we leave blood in a graven place. The forest black and nighttime sky, the blood that pours forth from your eye. A feast for maggots, craven all, that eat the dying when they fall. Instead of vibrant fighting flesh that fights the barghest and the thresh, that knows the plight of Seelie Fae, you who walked the Niralim's way, and reckon fates of mortal dust, and keep an oath or break a trust. We hunger for your corpse once more, to hear your cries and anguished roar. The High King Mathon ruled the bleak, silent fields of wintertide. He kept the season as it should be. The blizzards howling, the skies filled with snow in the gloom of a long night. He purified the land under a white blanket and allowed death to end the slow decay of autumn. The woods paid homage in leaves. The waters paused at his arrival. The world revered him in a barren stillness. The skulls atop high fulgen shine, and coldly gleam in a precise line. For us who chew on hollowed bones, while alive we wail vapid moans. It's delight for us to feed, to feast, we the winter of the East. We the corpses in putrid bloom, we of decay and twilight gloom. will never halt our hungered wait, till spilled blood is on our plate. So come into our lands at night, and see an endless wintry sight.
You must hurry. There is much to do. Gask and his forces are preparing to march. They know about the caves and will not cease until every last one of us has been slain. And there are the survivors of Eventide to consider. I have not heard a whisper from across the pass. And Esha, she plots a fool's errand. We must stop her. Much to do. Forgive me. Ever since the Tuatha came, omens of our destruction besiege me. My every notion is of escape and salvation. When he refused to worship Gadflow's god of smoke and ash, he thought first to kill us, but then chose a far grimmer fate. He made us his example. He sent Gask. First, Gask's priests destroyed the clans. Then he burned the bodies of the fallen and breathed in their essence, mocking the dead and the great cycle itself. One day, that is all Gask needed to unravel many seasons of the telling, to make the earth shudder and the sky weep. Now he sits above us, watching. Wonderful! Your attack will give us time to organize an escape. Do not underestimate Gask. He is among Gadflow's best for a reason. His camp of Cansimir is to the north, but you must defeat his witch knights along with the Fae himself. I have faith in you. He lords over Twilight Pass from the plateau above, rarely seen, his minions executing his bloody work. Both he and they prefer it thus. Victory will be yours.
There's roof beams to cut, thatch and wattle to collect, and daub to form. We'll need more rope, more pulleys, and more than a fair bit of luck. I'm sorry, stranger. It seems I'm the man to get this village rebuilt. I have to get the next few months of work straightened out. Stay alert.
I'm sorry, but you've saved us. Billis and I thank you for that. Beware the forest.
There's roof beams. I'm sorry, stranger. It seems I'm the man to get... this village rebuilt. I have to get the next few months of... Stay alert.
Until one night, when nature changed its course, and Gadflow, like an errant thread frayed from the weave, took the crown from Mathon's head. "A joke," he said. "A joke." And the court swayed in laughter. For Gadflow's was often like the mockingbird, with many calls, but none of his own. He placed the crown upon his head, and smiling, took a crimson sword. He betrayed the Fae with a swing of his newfound freedom. The anger festers in the heart, and perfectly you play the part of hero to the summer's west, bringing Tuatha to their rest. Why do you try so hard in vain? Why bring the others senseless pain? Don't you see, mortal, don't you see? The body impaled on the tree. Will you not witness their loss, and feed upon the awful dross? Or walk again past corpses new, without care for the rotting few?
I've never killed a mortal.
Agarth will not be far behind you. Neither of us saw any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. A scout on the ridge above saw the Tuatha mounting for a counterattack. You should hear what he has to say before we move on. If you'd rather not wait, talk with Agarth. Time is of the essence. Agarth, if he tells you he's ready, then my people are as well. Of course, if you wish to proceed with caution, the scout on the ridge will know what we're up against. Careful. This is worse than I feared.
Good to see you here. Ready? I am. But there hasn't been any sign of Aelin Shear or Ventrinio. Damn it all, I knew we couldn't trust her. I sent Ventrinio to keep an eye on her. He was sending me messages until recently. But there were fewer and fewer as we've gotten closer to Baal. We need to get through the House of Vengeance and kill the Cur. And we'll have to do it without them. He's the closest thing Vengeance has to a leader anymore. A face so consumed with hatred that he's little more than a beast. If you're going to get into Baal, the Cur has to die. No. Whatever Gadflow is doing in there, it's growing with every wasted minute. Even if Aelin didn't betray us, we don't have time to wait. Listen. You're more powerful than I ever was. If anyone can stop this, it's you. When you kill Cur, go into Baal and stop Gadflow. If we get separated, we'll keep fighting to keep an escape route open for you. Now go. Stay on guard.
And he was not alone. Like the weave unraveling, the Tuatha now tainted the purity of Mathon's court. These new immortals, the Tuatha Daon, were no longer the solemn Fae of the East. Their essences twisted into a ravenous host, unsettled, unnatured. From the nothing of winter came Gadflow's malice.
Onwards! We're nearly there.